Hey guys, welcome back to Ironside Ranch. I apologize if you see the green screen today. I may not be able to put a background in simply because of what we're talking about. We're showing our plants. What we're talking about today is building our food forest. Okay, so we got the first step of our food forest in, right? Well, I shouldn't say the first step. We've been working on it for several years now, but this is getting us a little bit more exotic. And one of the things that we wanted to add was a citrus plant. And so this is kind of the first step to that. Now, the next steps going forward throughout the summer, we'll be planting a lot more trees, and we're going to plant some that'll produce in 1 year, some that'll produce in 3 years, and some like some pecan trees that'll produce in about 10 years. So 5 to 10 years, we should start getting some pecans. So we're going to plant those on the other side of the road, because if we ever move from here, we're only going to probably be moving local, and we have some acreage on one side of an easement, and some acreage on another side of the easement. And so the acreage on the other side of the easement is what we do our more long-term projects with, because that's the bulk of our land, and we're not planning on selling that when we sell. So that's why our well was drilled over there, so that way we can tie it into the house. But if we ever sell this, we just simply put it back on the county water. We disable our well here at the house, and then we have good fresh water over on the other side of the road. Or we can offer to sell it with the house. It basically gives us options. So some of our long-term projects will end up going over there. Now, in this case, what we've got is we've got our citrus plants that we want to do. So this is called a flying dragon. This is kind of a hardy lemon-orange hybrid thing. It is a cold tolerant citrus. Citrus is not very cold tolerant, even for the cold tolerant varieties. This will certainly need to be covered if we get any frost that goes down below about 20 or 15 degrees. Anything with snow, we'll have to certainly go out and cover these. So we do have to be a little bit more proactive with them in the summertime, or I'm sorry, in the wintertime, but they are certainly a little bit hardier variety. Now, all these trees came delivered to us from FedEx. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I hate FedEx. FedEx is the worst. FedEx is what drives our prices up on the consumer end, because the company that delivered these, FedEx screwed up the delivery, delivered them to my neighbor's house, which they do on just about every delivery, actually. They screw up our deliveries. They damaged the trees, so right now I have to call the company that we ordered them from, and they have guaranteed that they will honor it. FedEx would not replace the damages. So FedEx, not being responsive, said they waved their hands up and said we have no liability in this game at all, and it's 100% on you guys, even though they didn't handle the package according to the instructions that are directly printed on the package. So I'm going on my soapbox here for a minute, but I hate FedEx. And because the plant company is one that has to raise the prices to offset FedEx's incompetence, the plant company then has to make up those prices on future sales, which means it drives the price up. So it's really, really ridiculous and unfortunate. So stay away from FedEx. UPS or USPS is all I'm shipping with. But anyways, I digress. Let me get off my soapbox here. The plants came a little bit damaged, but I think they're going to survive. I think we're going to be okay there. So we will end up contacting the company, letting them know what happened during the shipping, but we're not going to demand a fix or anything like that right now. I just want to let them know, so that way if I try it and it doesn't last, or they die in a month, then it's probably more related to the shipping than something else. So fastgrowingtrees.com, they have been great to deal with so far. We kind of let them know about an issue last night. So anyways, these plants, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take them and put them in a 5-gallon bucket, right? So we got these 5-gallon buckets for free. These are actually food grade buckets. You don't have to use food grade, but we are. We drilled holes in the bottom of them all the way around to allow the water to drain out the excess water. And then I went in here and I filled them with old hay. This is kind of decomposing. This will continue to decompose. We're going to come over the top of this, and I'm going to fill it with potting soil, and I'm going to add these trees to it. So, and then what we'll do is we'll end up moving these outside during the daytime and let them get some sun. We'll bring them back in at night to protect them from the frost until the last frost is done for the year. We may plant some of these in another week or so, but haven't fully decided. Right now, it's easy enough to just add it to the kids' chores, and they can take them in and out once a day or twice a day. Not a big deal. If you don't have access to hay, you don't have livestock around, you don't have just a bunch of extra hay laying around, you can always use cardboard and Y'all see this kind of packing paper that they use. All this is fairly biodegradable, so you can shred cardboard and use that type of packing paper. Put it at the bottom of these buckets and use it for a little bit of biomass, and just to get you some mass in there, so you're not using a ton of potting soil. That will break down, and then you can add it back to your garden or compost pile or whatever. So that's one easy way of kind of filling these up and giving them a little bit more root space, especially if we're going to leave them for a while. Now, these plastic little cups that they come in, these are actually great to save. So we'll use these when we transplant or do cuttings later on. Eventually, we may get to the point to where we're selling some of these fruit cuttings and everything. So I do want to have the capability of doing that. And so those cups, saving them and recycling them is really good. Plus, they're plastic; they just fill up landfills. I don't like them. I like biodegradable burlap bags personally, but they're great to kind of reuse for your plantings and your cuttings and things that you want to do. And you can get your tomatoes started in them, that sort of thing. So they work real well on that end of it. So we will go ahead and get these all transplanted over into the 5-gallon buckets, and then from there they'll go in and out all for the rest of the spring. If you want to plant in the wintertime and you have hardy winter plants, something like a peach or a plum or an apricot, something that can be planted in the wintertime, it's not actually a bad thing to plant them, because it directs that energy down into the roots and allows you to have some more strength in that plant starting in the spring. So not actually a bad thing to plant here in the wintertime or start of spring when the weather starts to warm up. It's so warm down here that it's not as big a deal for us to be concerned with the frost, but certainly if you're up north, you do have to worry about that frost, and so you have to be a little bit more careful on some of the end of these things. Now, we have things like this dragon fruit that will end up having to go into a high tunnel like we talked about, and those are a whole different thing. We're going to do a high tunnel series here this summer after we get it set up. Like I told y'all, we got our USDA grants. It looks like approved for everything for a high tunnel to go through, but we have to have it erected by this year. I'm not sure if we're going to have time to get it up this summer, but we will be sharing that process with y'all on the channel. So other than that, let me go ahead and get these moved over here, guys. I just wanted to show you what kind of came in. We've got more plants coming next week. And those plants, guys, they really should allow us to open up. We're trying to get to the point of providing about 70% of our diet here on the farm, and we do 100% of our meat right now. This will help us get to our fruit production to where we're doing, again, we can do 100% of our fruit here because of our geographic location. So really shouldn't have to do anything other than, and with the high tunnel, we can do everything. So that's really what we're looking for. But anyway, so I'm gonna get these planted over, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch y'all next time.